That takes some reading.
So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. The producer said, "Are you good to go?" Not realizing that that's a dubious question. You say to the crew chief, "How's the airplane?" "Oh, it's good to go, sir." "Yeah, right." I'm joined by Regina Faticanti,
Good morning.
who's here till 7:30, and filling in for Eileen Delrossi as the co-host, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good morning, Eileen. Thanks for letting me fill in.
And Ralph Hogan, who'll be here for the full 2 hours. Today is Good Friday in both the West and the East. It's not often that happens. There's service tonight at 6 o'clock at the Immaculate. The weather is 38, so it's not that warm.
It's a little chilly.
But
When
it's-
I came, yeah, it's a little chilly, Cliff, absolutely.
But it'll be better later.
Okay.
I'm optimistic. Back in 1506, the cornerstone of the current St. Peter's Basilica was laid. Have you ever been to St. Peter's?
No, I haven't, but how
Cliff?
long ago was 1506? Oh, my goodness.
Microphones are not magic.
I've been there, but I haven't seen him when I was there.
No. I've
If you
been,
could take that microphone and pull it a little close to your mic, Cliff.
okay, all right. So, yeah, I've been there a couple of times. Pretty impressive. I've been to the roof. In that day, you could climb up around the top. In 1521, the trial of Martin Luther begins its second day. At the Diet of Worms, he refuses to recant his teachings despite the risk of excommunication, which happened, and Martin Luther gave us Lutheranism. Closer to our time and our location, in 1689, the Bostonians rose up in rebellion against Sir Edmund Andros. That's
That's what
Boston
we should be
people.
talking about. 250 years ago, this month, a ragtag band of farmers said, "I'm not taking it anymore." And as a result, we have the right to sit here at these microphones.
Yeah.
Those were great men. Those were brave men. And the reenactment battles that are going to be taking place all weekend, just going to be amazing. People are coming from all over the country to see them.
All over the world.
All over the world. I did not know that, Ralph. Thank you. Because this is where our freedom originated. This our true freedom from the British. I mean, I just can't. I've read Washington and the Secret Six. I'm sure, Cliff, you've read that.
No, I haven't. Tell me.
So I'm in Washington at a seminar, coming back, and I need something to read. I'm in the airport, and it's by Brian Kilmeade, and I pick up Washington and the Secret Six. Now, Washington knows that he's never going to be successful unless he has spies. And so he's got to think about who can I get to be my spies?
Boris and Natasha.
Boris and Natasha is right. So 5 men, 1 woman. Now, the woman's name was never written down on paper. They so feared for her safety and of what the British would do to her that she was given a code name. The second printing of Brian Kilmeade's book does allude to who this woman was and gives her and her lineage credit for the bravery she had. So George Washington's Secret Six was his walking up to Ralph and saying, "Yo, Ralph, I need a favor, buddy. You have a shipping business, and you go to ports in New York and Connecticut and Jersey, and I need you to keep your eyes and ears open and report back to this guy over here. Report back to Cliff on any movement the British are taking. What are they buying? What are they? What's the talk in the tavern?" because Washington knew he would never be successful unless he had ears to the ground. So it was the precursor to the CIA. It was the precursor to Boris and Natasha. These 6 people, some of them who did not feel comfortable. I'm going to lose my business. What if I get caught? And Washington said, you're right. What if you get caught? If you get caught, then we're never going to be free. And he really did lay it on them. And ultimately, these 6 people, and this woman was a tavern keeper. She was a barmaid. So she heard all the dirt of when the British soldiers came into the tavern she worked in. You got a couple of pints in here and you're talking about, yeah, we're going to go storm this port and storm this port. And she would report back, and they were the groundswell of the knowledge that Washington received to let him move forward on what he was going to do. Just amazing.
Was Nathan Hale one of them?
I shall not tell a lie. I don't know.
Okay.
No, he actually was not. They were not famous men. They were, they owned a shipping business, they owned a tavern, they owned lodging house. They were regular people like the 3 of us sitting here. But they were brave.
The name escapes me, but there was one gentleman who basically funded a great deal of the Revolutionary War. He went broke.
You kidding?
No, I remember that quite clearly.
Okay.
Yeah.
My American history.
Cliff, who was it?
Remember the name?
I don't, but I remember a couple people lost their fortunes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the
I mean, very
Revolution.
successful business people who
Yeah.
ponied
Okay.
up the private money, and we have our freedom.
So this week is a big week in Lexington and Concord. I didn't realize, Ralph, that people were coming from all over the world. That's really amazing.
Oh, it's big. It's a big
It's
celebration.
250 years. It is big. It's huge. So, Cliff, I digress. Go ahead.
So, in 1783, we have the 3/5 Compromise. Wikipedia has it that it was for taxation purposes. It was really, I think, in order to allow the South to have more representatives, because the number of representatives is based on the number of people you have.
Okay.
But it was later adopted into the Constitution. But you can see the same thing now. Illegal immigrants in the United States, even if they don't vote, they increase the number of reps that
Right.
you might have. So
Yep.
if we have 700,000 illegal immigrants in Massachusetts, that's worth an additional rep up in Congress, down in Congress.
Okay.
So,
There's been, statements made that that's part of the process of why they were doing it, because some immigrants were transported north to northern
Right.
states
Right. Okay.
by the government.
Right. And people coming off planes and getting a free ride, and I don't think any of our families ever got a free ride.
No.
Right, mine came steerage, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of my grandparents' experience.
yeah. I don't know about my father's side, but mother's side, they came in from Canada, probably looking for better health care.
Speaking of Canada, did
What?
any of you guys watch the debate? The
No.
Canadian people are having, they're electing their new president, and it was a I hate America fist fight.
No.
There was no physical stuff, but I mean, they're talking about how bad the U.S. is to them, how terrible we're treating the Canadians.
Well-
Interesting to listen. So it's on YouTube. You might get a smile out of that.
President Trump has had a major impact on that election that's 10 days from now. The conservative was ahead, and then Trump got inaugurated, made his comments about 51st State and things like that, and now the liberal is ahead. So
Okay.
that's not good.
No, that's not good.
Today in 1906, there was a 7.9 earthquake in San Francisco, killed more than 3,000 people. One of the worst natural disasters in American history. That's where Bank of America came from.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Mr. Giannani, the founder of Bank of America, right after the earthquake, took a push cart and started doing banking out with the people out on the streets because everything else was destroyed. In 1909, Joan of Arc was beatified in Rome. 1912, the Cunard liner Carpathia brought 705 survivors of the Titanic to New York City. Today is the anniversary in 42 of the Doolittle raid that hit Tokyo, Yokohama, Kobe, and Nagoya. 1943, Operation Vengeance, Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto was killed when his aircraft was shot down by U.S. fighters over Bougainville Island. There's a small controversy about who actually shot down Yamamoto.
Okay.
In, I think, 84, the Air Force convened a board to review the issue. And the board confirmed what had originally been said was the story, but they got a retired brigadier general and 3 colonels, and we all met and went over the whole thing for a week. It was interesting.
Okay.
1946, Jackie Robinson makes his regular season debut with the Montreal Royals in the International League, to make them the first integrated modern professional baseball team. I think the thing about Jackie Robinson was he was able to provide self-discipline and dignity, no taking of the knee. He just performed as a professional and proved that he was worthy of being there.
Oh, yeah.
Clarence Darrow, American lawyer, was born in 1857. Samuel P. Huntington was born in 1927.
And what is Samuel famous for, Cliff?
What's his what?
What is Samuel Huntington famous for?
Yeah, I don't know
The
him.
Soldier and the State.
What's that?
You
a
just
book.
went deeper into the muck now.
It's a book that came out in the 1960s.
So he's a book writer?
He was a Harvard professor,
See a star of the book.
and he talks about the relationship of the civilian government and the military and how it should be.
And obviously you like he's a writer.
Yeah.
So obviously you like him. I never heard of the guy. But I'm not a reader like you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not sure about Samuel, but I know there's a Huntington that wrote a very interesting book about Saudi Arabia and the development and how the Wahhabis were a real thorn in the side of the regime.
Could have been the same guy.
I think so. I just can't fully recall. I read the book. It was interesting.
Ernie Pyle died on this date in 1945
And who's
on
he?
Okinawa. He was,
Gomer's brother.
was what?
Gomer's brother.
I was wondering if there was a relationship there, but who was he?
He's a reporter, the GI's reporter.
Okay.
So he was famous among the GIs in World War II. Albert Einstein died in 1955. John? Albert? You know Albert Einstein?
Never met the guy. I know he's
Never
a
had the
pretty
pleasure.
smart dude.
Okay.
Wicked smart.
Spot tooth.
Yes, wicked smart.
And in 2000,
But he's not related to Gomer.
in 2002, Thor Heyerdahl passed away.
And who was that?
Kon-Tiki. Norwegian explorer Kon-Tiki was the balsam raft that went across the Pacific, trying to demonstrate the...
Cliff, I'm going to pay you, I'm going to look up whose birthday is today, and I'm going to go back 1,500 years and start naming some people.
Yeah, that
Like-
we're not going to know.
Jesus' neighbors and stuff. I mean, isn't it Good Friday?
It is good.
It's
Is
Good
that in
Friday.
your notes there someplace?
I already talked about that.
So what takes place on Good Friday? I know a lot of people do Stations of the Cross. So I also know when I teach in Lawrence, if I teach on Friday, of Good Friday, there's a high probability I will be in the room by myself. And I understand that. And I tell my students on that Wednesday, I understand if I don't see you on Friday. I respect it because everybody is outside doing Stations of the Cross, which really beautiful thing. One of my students one year came to me and he said, "Professor, the most amazing news, I'm going to be Jesus this year at the Stations of the Cross." And he was elected to carry this, 100-pound cross through the streets as they reenact the Passion of the Lord. And so I know that on Fridays, I'm there by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's all right. I get it. It's, people very, depending on where you are, what part of the country, what part of the state you're in, people can be very religious and honor their religion, and I respect that.
In the Philippines, they actually nail people to the cross.
Oh, ow,
Yes, exactly.
ooh,
Today, and Gary will think this is important, today is World Amateur Radio Day.
okay.
There we are.
And at the Folk School next year, we're exploring putting amateur radio as a
Oh, that would be
headway
awesome.
to electronics and further education.
So students would have their own radio station?
No, it's ham radio
Okay,
type of.
all right.
But it's,
Well, WML is student-run.
yeah, but this would be
college
ham
radio
radio, which
station.
is
Yeah.
a different category. I remember during the blackout, was it 68 or something? Ham radio was, they were the first to know how the depth and the breadth of
Yeah.
how
Okay.
bad the East Coast was. But anyhow, it's just a bridge to further knowledge in electronics.
That's good.
Cool.
So, Supreme Court's going to hear arguments on Trump's plan to end birthright citizenship. That,
So let's have a chat about that. May we?
yeah, that's the
Am I-
plan.
Am I hitting the third rail, Ralph?
Go ahead.
So, the way it was written was not the way I think that people have expanded it to mean today. Like if you have a baby on American soil, then that baby and you don't ever have to leave because you're U.S. citizens. I think the way it might have been written might have been a little different. Am I wrong, or help educate me?
I think you're right.
Okay.
Go ahead,
It dates-
Ralph.
Dates back to a much earlier period.
Dates back to
and-
slavery.
Exactly.
That's what it dates
where
back
came
to,
into-
right. So Ralph, educate us on that
No,
concept.
all I know is that's where it started, is to give better rights to all
Right.
slaves and even their children.
Right, this dated back to slavery. And what it did was it gave citizenship to people who had children, people who were slaves who had children. Now, let's
Sure.
remember, you work in a plantation. Men live in one bunkhouse, women live in the other bunkhouse. Marriage was forbidden among slaves. But
So how did they?
love is love, Ralph. You
Yeah, but
look
how did
across.
they propagate to keep the plantation operational?
So, like I said, love is love, and people fall in love, and that's what this concept of jumping the broom came into being, because you weren't allowed to have any kind of a ceremony to indicate that two people were in love and married, but there had to be something among everyone to signify these two people were joined together. And that was so many say that that's where that concept came about. But
Tell us
birthright-
about jumping the broom.
So you take a broom you put it down on the threshold of where you're going to be entering your domicile, and the newly married couple jumped that broom into single life, into being wed. And it was an indication to the community that these two people were wed. Because remember, like I just said, you could not have an actual literal ceremony because slaves were forbidden to be married.
Judy made me carry her over the threshold.
Good for Judy. I love Judy. I just have the deepest respect for your wife. Good for her. Again, part of that whole concept of you're now one couple going into wedded life together. So this whole idea of birthright citizenship came about to protect the children of slaves, which I deeply respect. And now we're going to broaden the parameter
We did
and
about,
make it people who are here not legally, their children will now be citizens.
but that goes back 120 years.
Okay?
There was a Chinese couple, neither U.S. citizens, in the U.S., had a child, and some court ruled that the child was an American citizen
Based upon birthright citizenship.
based on birthright citizenship. And which has led to people coming here to have children just so they can be Americans.
And not have.
Read stories
right.
of Russian women coming to Florida just for the purpose of
An
creating.
American Samoa.
Really?
Oh,
Oh, tell me.
Strange, no, I read an article in the Journal that the Russians with coin
yeah.
get on a plane, and spend a few weeks having a child on American territory, and
Okay.
the child gets citizenship.
Out west there, Guam, where America's day begins.
Okay. So
You
what,
knew that, John, right?
I think,
I'm over here reading the paper. Thanks.
Okay.
so what are people's thoughts about this whole concept?
Shouldn't be happening, end of story.
Okay?
Stupid practice, it's kind of like the way that the United States government understands this birthright citizenship. What does this mean? You see somebody holding their thumb up, what does that mean?
Thumbs up?
So if you're at an intersection, or there's a traffic detail where the cops tells you to stop, and then the cop goes like this, what is that an indicator to you to do?
It
He
means-
told you to stop. He goes like this. What do you do?
I'm thinking I'm good to go, John.
And it should be,
Okay.
but
you're
it's
right.
this. So right now, birthright citizenship is being understood. And it shouldn't be.
Okay.
So that's John's view.
I know it's strange.
My view is that the amendment does not guarantee birthright citizenship, like Regina says. On the other hand, I think that it's uniquely American, and we should incorporate it in the law. If you're born here, you're one of us. I mean, Native Americans didn't become U.S. citizens until about 100 years ago.
Yeah, and shame on us.
Yeah.
For
You're right
for letting
about
it go that long, right? Considering they were here before we were.
They were
Right?
the host.
Right, we would have
Wait,
died
who
that
was here
first winter.
before they were here?
Pardon me?
Who was here before they were here?
I don't know.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Dino.
Horses.
Horse, okay.
Interestingly enough, horses originated and then emigrated across from Alaska into Siberia and became extinct here, and were only reintroduced when Cortez arrived.
Okay. I would have thought horses would have traveled to warmer weather, but hey, what do I know? That's, so I.
too smart.
So Native Americans here first, we would have died that first winter had they not helped us along, right?
Corn, yeah, fish.
Okay, everything. And so I'm not sure how I feel, because I am the granddaughter of immigrants, and I'm very proud of that. So my parents were born here.
One of the problems is my relatives and your relatives, they all came legally.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, at least mine, well over 100 years ago. When the only way you could get here was by boat. Now, you can fly to Canada, walk over the border, you can fly to Mexico, walk over the border. There's so many different ways to get to America that
Right.
exist, that didn't exist. And the laws must be brought up to 2025 and not stuck in steamships bringing people here.
Okay.
Those days are never coming back.
Ralph, we squeezed you out. You
Well-
got an opinion?
Yeah, I do. I'm disappointed in our government. And political parties, people, all of it, I'm disappointed. In the last, 30 years, you've had Democrats, Republicans in and out of the Senate, House, White House, so on and so forth. But we still have an immigration problem. We're not intelligent enough to figure out a better way to attack this, to implement a sane policy. I think immigration is good, but I think what was done in the last few years is crazy. It's insane. And it's got to come back to haunt cities and towns that have a lot of immigrants, because the budget is not going to work. It's that simple.
Ralph, how much have we spent in Massachusetts for our immigrant concerns?
Emergency housing program?
Yes.
1.3 billion.
Thank you.
Billion.
And some-
And we're looking for classroom space at the Voc School because parents are calling us to get their kids in, and the state keeps changing the policy, which brings me to the latest DESE, Department of Education, and the governor's people. You know, we're a majority school. We're balanced. There's nothing they can say about the school being unequal in population and so on and so forth. But they're throwing us in with all the other schools, and they're coming up with a new lottery system, and they're dummying down the requirements for entry. And, you know, I think every kid should have a chance, but I think we have to draw the line with a conviction of a felonious assault.
I would agree.
There's still, they're just bringing it down, no matter, if you assault a teacher, you have experience in the school committee and teaching. I think that's a major,
I would agree with
Problem.
you. Tell me you said there's a lottery. Educate me about that. I read something.
it's in
But tell me.
flux. It's in flux.
Okay.
We just had a report last night, an update. It's in flux. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, there'll be some sort of a vote to form a commission to sort of implement or change to a lottery system. So in other words,
How would that
Regina's a
work?
great student, comes out of St. Michael's, does a wonderful job, you know. You meet the criteria. You know, I skipped school, I only went to school 3 days a week, and this, that, and the other thing. You know, if you're not in the classroom, nobody can teach you.
Right, I agree.
It's just the way it is. So you can have up to 27 absences under the governor's program.
Oh,
Now,
no,
if
no,
I'm
no,
right,
no.
it's somewhere around 200 and something days that they look at for a kid applying, a student. That means they can go to school 4 days a week, 3.5 days a week. I mean,
Not fair to the kids who are going 5 days a week and trying and working hard.
that's the bottom line.
I don't like that.
Well, part of it is the abject failure of our delegation and the rest of the people on Beacon Hill. They should go out and create 10 more Voc schools. They should do it right now, and they shouldn't wait for buildings. They should go out and find motels and turn them into vocational high schools so that they can
Interesting.
start it right away.
Or they should find some kind of building to turn into. I would agree. I never thought about that, Cliff. You're right, we should have more vocational schools. I know that I taught at Whittier for about 4 semesters. I taught my sociology class in Northern Essex. And let me tell you something, those are some smart kids. One of my students at Whittier Tech, out in Haverhill, got accepted to MIT. And then let me know that I made a mistake on my final exam.
Wow.
No, you gotta respect a kid who was
Yeah.
smarter than his professor, because this kid was smarter than me. Oh, my goodness. And when you walk in the classroom and you start to figure out which kids are gonna have zoomed past you already, this kid had zoomed past me. And I'm thinking to myself, kid, remember your poor professor when you graduated from MIT. This kid was smart as a whip. Nice kid, going to Whittier. Because he also wanted a background in some like software engineer with something that they taught there. And he got that education and he took that with him. Good for him. Smart kid, smart way to do it.
We have a student going to MIT too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what I was, in conversation with the administration, they basically said, they've realized that the hands-on approach of vocational education really pays off.
It does, I agree.
Because, even the engineers have to
Right.
find out how part A fits to part B and make it work smoothly. And hands-on education works for kinetic, education at MIT at a much higher level.
I think I tell my students all the time, do not look down at the young people who go to technical school, because wait until you're a homeowner and you need to get a plumber. Okay? You're going to be really happy that some of those kids went to the vocational school, because when you need a plumber or an electrician or somebody that does like the work that Ralph does, you're going to be really happy to find them, and you're going to be shocked at the check that you're going to write to them. And good for them. Good for them.
I might have told you this story, but I'll repeat it because I don't think I've shared it with Regina. I spoke to a parent at one of the parent nights at the school, and he had 2 boys that went to the Voc, and one went off to a Babson or something. He's an accountant, and the other went off to be a plumber. So the plumber is, having his brother do his taxes. And the brother says to his plumbing brother, he says, I'm going to have to increase my fee this year by $55. He said, I hope you don't mind, but, I'm just going up across the board, things are tight, blah, blah, blah. And the plumber says, no problem. Why don't you push it up to 100? He goes, really? And they were shocked, right? So, yeah, push it up to 100. He says, I'm doing pretty good this year. It's, a lot of business. And besides, next month I'm changing our entire heating system, so we'll take care of it all.
That's beautiful.
Oh.
That's beautiful.
But plumbers make a lot of money.
Good for them.
Yeah, they did last month, or
Good.
this month at my house.
See?
So, yeah, good for them. Good for, smart is the child who says, I'm going to go get a trade and then go off to college and take that knowledge with me, and, or get a trade and come back to a college like Northern Essex to get some management skills, to learn how to manage your business better. Those are some smart kids.
Judy has always said that kids leaving the Voc with a trade should go to Middlesex and get a business degree.
I agree.
To
I
balance
agree.
the books
Yes.
and so on
Yep.
and so forth. If you have a business background and the trade,
You're golden.
you're set.
Right. I agree. That's a great.
I was always impressed when I lived in Long Beach, California, because there was a community college and it had 2 sections. Liberal arts, you could take that catalog and the courses that would box top right into UCLA were marked.
Okay.
So you could do 2 years and go to UCLA and finish up. and the Business Technology Division, which was for people who wanted to improve their management skills and their other skills. I know my father taught time and motion study there. My father, the high school graduate, taught at the community college, the Business Technology Division.
Okay.
So it was a distinct separation and a distinct emphasis. And it
Europe is
worked.
like that. Europe has a liberal track for education, and it's decided like in 8th or 9th grade, and then
Yes.
they have a technical division that,
The problem with Europe, though, is that once they've made the decision, they don't want to make any room. My granddaughter, my oldest grandchild, is married to a Dutchman, and they live out in Ohio, and he got tracked into the trades. He does computer work now, but trying to get the math that would have allowed him to be better back in the Netherlands was not possible because he had been tracked to the trades.
And that's why we did away with tracking after the 70s, because we realized that tracking was not beneficial for students.
Well, my basic motto is never let school interfere with your education.
And my grandmother, coming from a communist country, her basic motto was, they can never take away what you have in your mind. That's why you have to go and get educated.
John, you wanted to make a comment?
We should educate the kids about personal finance
I agree,
Oh,
yes.
I'd never heard
in
that before.
every
Yes.
grade. We shouldn't, you know what? Going to give you all your education. You know what? Before you get a job, you're going to go get more education. No. Teach the kids personal finance every grade. Thank you.
That's very smart. How to start a checkbook, how to start some savings. When I'm in Lawrence, I invite a couple of guys from the Enterprise Bank
yeah.
to come over and talk to my high school kids about how to save money, how to build wealth, how to open up a checkbook, how to open up a savings account. And the Enterprise is wonderful. They have a program. They help young people coming out of high school, who are in high school, with writing a resume, with, dress for success, they go through that first interview with you so that you understand what happens in an interview. They have a wonderful program, and I lucked out. My nephew's wife, put me onto these two men, and they just do a wonderful, wonderful job. And and that's when I learned about all the services that Enterprise has. Now, I know that they just got bought. I'm hoping that the new folks will continue that service to the community, because Enterprise just, George Duncan, thank you for the things that you did for the community,
he did a good job.
Oh, God, George was
I think-
unbelievable.
I think they're changing the name.
Oh,
Now, that was
Ralph,
I
to
was
what?
called to go to a vote, but I was up in Maine
Okay, to what?
to change
new
the name
bank?
at a
To the new bank?
stockholders
Oh,
meeting.
boy. Enterprise has a wonderful reputation, and the reputation comes from George Duncan and the things that he did. And I think that that reputation, with that the name, exudes, causes people to go to that bank. So,
But it's, the bank is a community bank. You're right, but it
It
was
is a
more
commu-
than George
oh, it was,
Duncan.
yes.
He
It was a lot of people who worked there, a lot of people who believed in George's vision, in George's dream, and they did things in the community also, yes.
He worked for Redstone, and Redstone sold out, and Redstone put a lot of money in to get that bank going
Okay,
as an investor.
so
But,
now,
Jimmy Conway, and there's Mike Spinelli, there's a bunch of people that were on that board that pushed it from a community point of view.
right,
And George was obviously the president, led the charge. He was the face of the bank for a number of years.
right,
But it was a community bank, and unfortunately now Now we're in Rockland.
Oh,
We'll see how it goes.
we'll see what their motto is to the community.
Rock solid.
Okay.
That's the motto.
That's the motto? Okay, so
Rock
tell me. Okay, so Ralph, expound on that for me.
That's the motto. That rock
We are
solid.
rock solid?
So Camden Trust down in New
Okay.
Jersey used to have a motto, "We'll find a way or make one."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Consumer driven, okay.
Yeah. So, sort of changing, did you see where the British Supreme Court has ruled that a woman is defined by her biology?
By her uterus?
Yes.
Yes, I did. I appreciated that very much. As a
So-
woman
Yeah.
who has a uterus, yes, I appreciate, and even with women who don't have a uterus anymore, they're still
Yeah.
women. I appreciate that very much. I am concerned about the erasure of women and girls in sports. I'm very concerned about that.
I thought that was crazy to have, I read a story, I can't remember the town, but the kid came in third, and he was unhappy.
Oh,
Changed his flavor of the month
oh, Ralph, you
the
serious?
following year, and he came in first in track. But how about all the girls that have been
Right.
practicing
Right.
and training for the track team? I mean, he just
Right.
pushed him right.
That's so wrong.
And there's
So
not
wrong.
one, 6 months ago we talked about it, so the swimmer.
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
yes,
that
very
was-
wrong.
I just think it's wrong.
Very
You know,
wrong. I agree.
Create a separate team or whatever you gotta do, but I just think people train and work hard, and then all of a sudden someone feels as though they should be in a different gender.
So look at this Spencer that just took a knee. She's now been removed from the fencing group that she fenced with. There was a biological male who was going to be her opponent, and when the biological male stood up and came towards her, I saw the video, it was amazing. She took a knee, and the biological male leaned over and said, like, "What are you doing? What's going on here? You can see this conversation." And she's just said, "No, I'm not." And then the official came over and she said, I'm not, on the grounds of the fact that this person's a biological male, has obviously much greater upper body strength than I do, I am not going to fence with this person. And this young woman is now being dragged through the mud. I applaud her.
Yeah,
I applaud her.
it's time people, use some common sense.
Right.
That's politically, some of the stuff they've come up with is pretty out there, but
It is an 80-20 issue.
Tell me what 80-20
what took the
means.
legislators over in merry old England? What did
What?
it take for them to actually take a vote on this? Because the American legislators down in Washington, it's all about our side has to win. Doesn't make any difference what they're fighting over. Our side's got to win.
So what happened in the UK was the Scottish legislature said that trans could be considered women. And 3 Scottish women, being cheered on by J.K. Rowling, took it to court, and it went to the UK Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said no.
Good for them. And J.K.
Unanimous decision.
J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter,
Yeah.
she is a big believer in no biological women are in women's sports. And she took some heat over it. But because she's so famous, I mean, she's really kind of untouchable. But she has been a supporter of only biological women in women's sports for a long time now. And I applaud that. I think, Martina Navratilova, I applaud the fact that she, with her amazing reputation, has said, wait a minute, we are eliminating women from women's sports when biological men get to compete against women.
I find it odd because when I was in school, I can remember going to a little protest because they were fighting for Title IX.
Well, okay,
And that did come into fruition, but what I'm getting at is, when you're in your 20s, they're fighting for rights and access to funds in sports in college. They achieve it. And now they're pulling the rug from under them, basically. I just don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's safe.
so
Neither.
that's another issue, Ralph, the safety. I'm glad you brought that up. So we started at the Olympics, right? During the wrestling or boxing, and that did not go well for the female opponent of that boxer, because the biological strength of that trans woman nearly killed that female boxer.
I think there are more, there are better issues than fighting about gender in sports. Let's
There
concentrate on
should be better
education.
issues, right.
Sports
We shouldn't
will
be
keep
fighting
people
about it.
healthy
Right.
and inspire and get them interested and keep them in school. A lot of people play sports, do the homework to stay involved in
Thank you.
sports, and
Yes.
they get educated. And I think that's fine too.
Yep.
But, sports and competition were not made to be political fodder, and that's about what it is. The political correctness is supposed to be supreme, but
Ralph,
society is failing us.
you need the microphone.
Okay. Lean forward.
Yes.
Or pull the microphone
Bring the
to
mic
you.
forward.
Whatever it's
You
gotta
can be
be.
like Dominic Lay and just hold it in your hand.
So I'm going to do these messages quick, since I already interrupted the show. Somebody sent this in, makes good sense, all gender bathrooms. I think the government's making a big mistake not to create single-stall bathrooms. Why do we have these huge, you go in the bathroom and there's room for 35 other people to use the bathroom at the same time? What kind of logic is this? Well, we
Have you been to
space,
City Hall?
We have this, we have that. Cliff,
Have you been to City Hall?
let me shut your mic off. I'm going to finish in a second, okay?
John, you like to interact with us. We
Okay.
like to interact with you.
Yes.
Yes, Cliff, I've been to more city halls in my lifetime than you have.
The basement,
How can I help you?
the basement of Lowell City Hall has got a unisex bathroom.
Okay.
Just like this, with stalls, just like you talk about.
Guaranteed, the brand spanking new multi-bazillion-dollar high school that Lowell is making in downtown, the unhealthy building they're creating because the windows don't open, has these corral stalls, room for 50 to go to the bathroom. And I'll bet you out to Ralph's school, Greater Lowell Voc, they have corral stalls, room for 50 at the same time. So Ralph, do you have single stalls out there, or are they corral stalls? When you use the restroom during your meeting, is there room for 50?
The last one I was in was a stall, as I recall, but they do have mixed gender situation. It's just law. The state implemented it. We had to change bathrooms.
Moving right along with our announcement, has Cliff ever been to Joe Joss in Long Beach?
No.
All righty. Good morning. Without a doubt, the area needs another trade school. Or shopping plazas would be a great, I think it means to say our shopping plazas would be a great spot. Now, this morning, I'm fiddling around sending emails to all of our public access providers like Drake and Tingsboro and stuff like this. So I sent this to Tingsboro. and this is the first time I'm seeing this. Some of my lawyer friends have this as it's on the bottom of his email. In Massachusetts, the term public record is broadly defined to include all documentation, materials, data created or received by any officer, blah, 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 blah. All your emails joking back and forth, sending dirty pictures and sending dirty jokes to your friends, they're all going to be included in the lawsuit. I want all your emails for the whole year.
Uh-oh.
And that's why you see governments cave in a lawsuit, because they don't want, and the same thing goes for your texts on your phone. I want all your texts and all your emails. And if it says, if your email is from your company, McDonoughfuneralhome.com, if it comes from I own the email. If you have email that you use your personal account for your legislative stuff or your government stuff, all your emails that you use are going to be included in a lawsuit. So it's interesting to see this. It's growing. All your emails, public stuff.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. I got, when I went on the License Commission, I got a separate email for it.
Oh, that was smart.
But do you know if you correspond to anybody with your personal email? All your personal emails.
Right.
So you're smart to have that city email.
So, we're down to just a couple minutes, but I wanted to talk about what's going on. We had Brenna Tesla Saturday about 3 weeks ago, and then we had the hands-off Saturday, and then last Saturday, nothing, apparently nothing now. But I'm worried that there'll be more demonstrations, because it seems to me the Democratic Party is rudderless right now, and that therefore the radicals out to the far side of the progressives, I think, are stepping up and taking charge.
And the media has nothing to cover. The media just wants the Democrats to do something because there's nothing to cover. You watch the news and they'll go like, "Oh, have you met our new dog? We have a nice new dog.
Well,
Coming up, the new dog."
I appreciate how AOC and Bernie took private planes to go talk about the oligarchy and the billionaire problem.
Yep.
And did anybody, that they were trying to hide the fact that they took private planes.
Well, this is from the audience. Back in the 80s, Monty Python did a skit about a man wanting to become a woman. That was comedy back then. It's unfortunately reality today. Good point.
Good point, caller.
So, so I'm not sure what, the Democrats are just fuming at Trump, and a lot of them, I think, just want the Democrats in Congress to stop everything, shut down the government. But I'm not sure how that's going to help us.
Well, it's going to happen this weekend because it's Passover's going on. It's Khmer New Year, but mostly it's even Orthodox and regular Christians are celebrating Easter this weekend. So it's not going to be a heck of a lot.
What is that, every 7 years?
It'd be nicer to say
Is it- oh, really?
Western Christians.
Julian and
Well, Cliff, I always
Gregorian
expect you to
calendar.
correct me.
Okay.
Thank you. Western Christian, so I'm a Western Christian. So we have Eastern Christians and Western Christians.
Yes,
Cliff likes us to know
So we are
we're-
Western
we're
Christians?
different.
yes.
Okay,
We're
good
different
to
from one
know.
another.
Didn't know that.
Well,
Would
the
Jesus-
expression Eastern Orthodox.
What do you think Jesus calls them?
I think Jesus just calls us all his people.
Yeah? What do you think Jesus calls us, Cliff? Western Christians, of course.
Sinners. Except for you, of course, John.
Okay.
You realize there was a big schism between East and West about 800 years ago.
Oh, I did
Cliff,
not
it's
know.
worse today with the Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, he's right.
Our side's got to win. We don't give a hoot what you're pushing. Our side's got to win.
At any cost.
At any cost.
And I'm told, I don't know, I know enough to be dangerous, but Cliff, you're the smartest guy in the room. Did the Democrats vote against no tax on tips?
I don't know.
Did the Democrats vote against no tax on Social Security?
That
I
would
don't
be
know.
shameful.
Huh?
John, do you know the answer to that?
The rumor is they have. But I'm asking the enlightened people like Cliff, the know-it-alls that I know. I know more than one know-it-all. Cliff's not the only know-it-all I
Are you
know.
looking at me, John?
I think he was looking at him.
The important vote, which got Senator Chuck Schumer in deep trouble, was to pass the budget, and Schumer could have shut it down and left us with no federal budget, but he didn't. He acquiesced, and therefore the government is funded.
And that's
there
why
are a
the
lot
Dems
of
are mad at him.
Democrats that are
Right.
very unhappy
And they're
about
funded
that.
with faith in paper. What's
Yeah.
the story on Fort Knox? Is Trump going to have the guts to go down there or what?
No, I don't think so.
He's never going to go?
Go where, John?
Fort Knox. Show us the gold, baby.
They're questioning the validity of the stack of gold that's at Fort Knox. And,
Oh, really?
oh, yeah.
Okay, I have not heard this. Fill me in.
I'm just, there's rumors it's
Well, Regina,
not there. It's a
how do you
mirage.
know? Do you think the gold is still in Fort Knox? And
I hope so.
the key word shouldn't be think. I hope so. It should be we know it's still there.
So the Trump's goal was to go down and visually see that it's there? I hope somebody does.
That's the plan, but it ain't going to happen. We're going to go to break. We'll be
Okay.
back. Thanks.
I blame all current and past school committee members for that, John.
Hey,
Well, no,
this,
it's- they-
Welcome back to,
this
they
school
blamed it on
committee member made a
Desi.
motion to keep people who are unvaccinated out of our public schools because
Health and safety.
health and safety.
So Cliff's going to reintroduce to our new audience what's going on today. Over to you, Cliff,
thanks,
the
John.
smartest guy in the room, Mr. Know-It-All himself, Cliff Kreiger.
I don't know it all. I wish I did. There's just not enough time in a day. Welcome to City Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. Regina Faticanti is
Morning.
my co-host. Eileen has got the day off, and we have Ralph Hogan here. Ralph is a member of Greater Lowell Folk, the Griffins
That's right.
School Committee. So the school committee met yesterday.
Yes, it did last night.
How'd it go?
Pretty smooth. I mean, for the only item that was really controversial was the update by the superintendent on the governor's proposed lottery system, which has been changed, but it's still not equitable for our district or most districts. Small group of people complained, the governor decides to fix it, and you know what happens when the government shows up to fix something.
Right.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
Oh, it's not good.
That's true.
What did Reagan say about the government?
It's something like 7th or 9 worst words in the English
Right.
language.
I'm here to help you. I'm from the government. I'm here to help you. Yes, I agree.
The government is here for their own self-preservation,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
and that's their first commandment. We
You're
must
right.
survive. The hell with the taxpayers. The government must survive.
So
And
the-
they forget that their job is to work on behalf of the people.
I.e.,
Before-
downtown Lowell, we now pay for parking until 8 p.m., 7 days a week.
There's
And I have
nothing in
two words.
downtown
I have
Lowell.
2 words for the city councilors: greedy bastards.
But there's nothing in downtown Lowell. So if you're making me pay,
Regina, if you want to pay over by the Americans, if you want to park, you want to go to the auditorium,
yes?
you got to pay. Pay for parking on the street. Sunday. Pay until 8 p.m.
That's crazy. That makes people not want to come to city. That's,
Choir members at the Immaculate have gotten tickets when they've showed up for choir practice and parked on Fayette Street.
If I want to get a
that's
cup of
terrible.
coffee at Brewed Awakening in downtown Lowell on a Saturday morning, I'm going to get a ticket. The city council has gone bananas.
and John, what does that now cause you to do?
I'm not going to shop in downtown.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
I agree.
That's the bottom
Thank you.
line.
Ralph's right. That's the bottom line.
They want to know why. I remember buying my uncle I was in college, but was it Parrot Hatters up on?
Oh, God, I love them.
Yeah.
Yes. Next to the deli. Oh, it was great.
I got my introduction into parking tickets right there.
No.
I parked the car and I went in because I had no change. So I went into the store to get the change, and I got the change, and I'm walking out, and she gives me a ticket. I'm saying, I was getting change. She goes, sorry, and walked off. So I went in with the, and the guy says, you're not going to plug the meter or feed the meter? I said, no, I got a ticket. I'm going to park there all day. I'm going to get my money's worth. I bought the hat, and I went next door and had a Reuben.
Oh, they had the best sandwiches. What was the name of that deli? Help me remember. They
John?
had the best sandwiches ever. Their coleslaw was great.
Yeah, then
Right on
they moved out
Middlesex
to
Street.
Billerica,
Oh,
and then the guy died, and there was nobody could carry it on. It was delicious.
Best place.
Bonnie's.
Bonnie's.
Yep,
Bonnie's.
Yep, Bonnie's
Oh.
had the best.
Bonnie's was great.
Reubens.
Oh, my gosh. Bonnie's had the best everything.
Ugh.
They were wonderful.
Had to get my $10 ticket.
So good for you. You made use of it. Smart man. And so you went in to get your uncle a hat?
Oh, yeah, I got the hat and I got the Reuben, but your point is well taken. I wasn't happy.
No.
And it drives people out of town. If you came from Chelmsford to do business in that section of town and you got a ticket, you're not coming
You're
back.
not coming back, right. Well, look at the guy who owns the Keep. He's leaving Lowell, going to Chelmsford. And I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there several times.
Baby, go with this parking.
Yeah, I've been there several times. They have great food, great drinks, wonderful atmosphere. And it's sad to lose a restaurant of that quality to a community that already has a lot of good restaurants, right?
Yeah.
But part of the issue was the parking, but another issue was the homeless situation. I mean, people going
How
in.
about the poor old diner? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, don't even, that's terrible. I feel so bad for them. And they're a business who's been, how long has the Owl Diner been here in Lowell? I mean, they are a mainstay.
I was
If
in
we
high
lose
school there.
places like the Owl Diner, then Lowell is
Are
going
you
bankrupt.
suggesting the Owl is closing?
No,
No,
no.
They were being
Harassed
arrested.
harassed by the clientele and the people who work there, harassed by homeless people.
I had an experience I was out and about, and Martha had to go out and do something. She called me on the cell phone and said, "Why don't we go to Applebee's for lunch?"
Okay.
And I showed up, and there was a person who looked like he might be a homeless man sitting between the outer and inner door. And we talked for about a minute. We had some small thing in common. His father had been stationed someplace that I'd been stationed. I went and sat down to wait. He came in and asked for a slice of bread, and the manager told him no. So he went back out, and I went over to the manager, and I said, "If I gave you a 20, could you give him some food?" And he said, "The problem is he creates a commotion. We've had to call the police." So my immediate thought is we continue to fail to provide mental health
Yes.
Absolutely.
treatment.
Yes.
I'm not saying lock him up, but
Mental
he
health.
needs to be provided a place to live.
Right.
He needs to be given counseling and drugs.
Right.
And, yeah, maybe let him roam free during the day.
But you know what?
But give him
Cliff,
some help.
Here's the problem. If people, and I hate to say this, but if people are not monitored, then, oh, I'm feeling good, so I'm going to stop taking my mental health drugs.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go right back to that place I was, that very dark, horrible place I was before, which was homelessness and hanging out and asking people for a piece of bread. It's a horrible thing that's happening in our country. Mental health, I have more students today than I've ever had who have mental health issues. And I, you know, my job is to plug them into services, make sure they have services. I just can't get over it. People who, they are so mired in issues that they can't come to school. So I said to one student, "Can you do the work online?" Can't even focus to be able to do that. So now I got to flunk this kid. It kills me to do that. But, and hey, can I
But
plug
talk
you?
him into a withdrawal, so he has
I
a shot at coming back.
I tried to do that, and he said, "Oh, yes, I'm going to do it," but he never did. The mental health of our young people we're at breaking point. There aren't enough mental health professionals. If anybody's thinking of a career, going into the mental health profession is a wonderful profession. I have an advanced degree in counseling psychology, and so it pains me to see the pain that young people are in. And you must see it at the vote, Ralph.
So
You must see it at the
we're
vote.
getting failed by state government. Not enough
Yes.
folk schools, not enough mental health,
Right,
and totally clueless about fixing the housing problem.
yes.
Because the housing problem is more than housing. We talked today about,
Cliff, the government's saying this. Can you speak up, Cliff?
Good one, John.
They don't care.
Right.
Oh, yes, we do. Then prove it. You don't care. You're charging people to park, to go to get a cup of coffee on a Sunday or a Saturday. Terrible. And this stuff you're talking about, the government should be doing this, the government shouldn't be happening. Hey, I got a bunch of texts I'm going to read to you guys. I can't put them up. I don't know what's going on. But at any rate, what is Cliff going to take into space when Mr. McDonough pays for a blue? Oh, are you going to? I'm not sending anybody to space, so that's guys. Cliff, who would you take?
who
To
would I
space.
take?
To space, yes.
I'd take my grandson Ford.
That's
Okay.
it, just you two?
What?
Just you two? Or would you go?
Do I get more?
Well, there was 4 went up there, right? 4 gals?
Five,
Six.
six women? There's a lot of controversy about that right now, about the waste.
So you're going to get 6. What 6 would you bring?
Oh, I'd take my buddy Juan with me. That's three of us.
Okay.
Ralph and Regina, you can think about, you're going to have some people coming up.
I'm going to have to reserve the other three. I might take my brother Lance and take my brother John. My brother John at one time managed the contract for the Atlas launch vehicle as the procurement officer for the program. And I got one left, right? Yeah. Gee, I'll take my first grandchild, who's
Okay.
Working on becoming a nurse practitioner
Oh.
in the
Very good.
Wonderful.
mental health area.
Okay, wonderful.
So
that
Ralph,
gives me
you got a
six.
six-pack you can bring to space for a 10-minute trip.
I think I would sacrifice and send my family and, stay back and make sure everything went well.
Okay. Regina?
So I'm going to take my nephew, his daughter, a couple of my cousins, my friend Steve, and then me. That's 6 of us.
You made it.
Okay, I got 2 texts. 3 texts. If a politician is not lying, they aren't doing their job. Moving right along, according to the city council and the manager, things in Lowell are doing great, but yet the homeless is a problem, and the downtown is empty.
Yep.
The last text that I have right now is don't forget about the drug addiction. That problem is not getting better. Thank you for your comments.
So
True.
the drug addiction, people who have mental health issues self-medicate. So they turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs. So I was driving down the street adjacent to the South Common, I'd say about a year ago, and a couple of homeless people had set up a table and some lounge chairs, and they were all outside drinking beer in front of the Elliott Church. And I thought to myself, if anybody else did that, they'd be arrested.
I thought you were going to stop.
No, I wasn't going to stop. Trust me, I was trying to drive even faster because I didn't want anybody to stop my car for me. And I thought to myself, why is that behavior even allowed? It shouldn't. They got their beer bottles out on the table. They're smoking a joint, and I'm thinking, where am I? Am I in California?
You're in
No,
Lowell,
I'm in
Massachusetts.
Lowell, Massachusetts, by the South Common.
Subsidized
and
by the
you're
government.
15 miles away from the source of where the shot was heard around the world, which gave us the American Revolution and hence civil rights and lawyers. And that's why people get to do what they want to do.
Ralph, if you and I were sitting out there smoking a joint and having a beer, you and I would be in the clank, right? Because that's the way. So why are we allowing homeless
Was
people
that
to do that?
78?
Yeah. I think it was 88. I think it was 88.
Oh.
But I think, first of all, I don't think we should be giving money to homeless folks. You want to give somebody a coupon to get a meal. You want to give someone a gift card to go to Dunkin' Donuts. That's great. But
They'll
you give-
sell it to buy drugs.
That's right. Well, that's probably true. They will sell it to buy drugs. And when I see people at the end of the connector give that couple money, I cringe because I think to myself, they're hopping in a car that might be nicer than yours, and they're going off to buy drugs or alcohol.
Let me just tell you guys this story here. Then we're going to
Tell
go
me.
back over to Cliff because he is the host. There is a gentleman that stands on a street corner with his little sign, "Help me out." And he lives in a building that's owned by his trust. His trust owns the building. He lives with his girlfriend downstairs. The upstairs apartment is his girlfriend's mother. He's not married to the girlfriend. They just live in the building that his trust owns. And they're Section 8 apartments. So the government is paying for the girlfriend's apartment, paying for the mother's apartment. He's on the corner, smiling at you. Hi, give me some money. What a life. And it's perfectly legal. Everything this guy's doing, and he's right, everything he's doing is legal. He was a lawyer, fell off that track, found a way around everything, and again, lives in a building that's owned by a trust, so his name's not on it. His girlfriend has Section 8 voucher. He gets a check from the government every month to his trust, and he has withdrawal privileges, and so does his girlfriend's mother. Section 8 voucher comes every month, and he cashes that money too. Pretty good job. Welcome to Massachusetts.
Yes.
Linda King, when she was in charge of homelessness in Lowell, which was, I don't know, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, it said that her estimate was that the people taking money at intersections are probably clearing about $30,000 a year.
Oh, my goodness.
Really?
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad, not a bad job if you can get it.
Not great, but not bad. So part of it is, I don't think we understand human psychology anymore. And so one of the things I noted was that we're seeing males sort of dropping out of society in ways. Like in college, 2 out of 5 students are men. So that's 3 are females.
Good math.
And what that means is that one of those 3 females probably won't get married, end up as a childless cat lady.
Hey, I'm a childless cat lady.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that, right?
But college graduate women tend to marry men who are college graduates.
Yes.
And so if you're not going
Makes sense.
to college, there's a bunch of women who are not going to look at you and therefore will not end up married. And that's not a good situation.
No, it's not.
Elon Musk makes the point that the thing that keeps him up at night is,
This is the guy with 13 wives, right? How many times have you been married?
no, he has 1 wife and 14 children.
Yeah, there might be more
Wait a
than
minute.
14.
That doesn't add up for me.
I don't think he even has a wife. I think he has a girlfriend.
I know enough
He's
about
got-
Elon Musk
He's got
to be
4
dangerous.
baby mothers.
Wow.
And they've been busy.
Does he live in Utah?
On a Mormon
No.
ranch? Whew. So I have 10 minutes.
So the question is, from the Spectator
Okay.
this morning, who should have Elon's next child? They use the expression harem drama. Oh, no, the Wall Street Journal did. He has 14 children by 4 different mothers.
And he had proposed buying a enormous house on a big piece of land and moving them all into the same home together. And I thought, as smart as he is, he doesn't know a darn thing about women. Because they're
He's
gonna go there
autistic.
and they're gonna take a fork to each other. Are you kidding me?
The
He's
J factor
autistic.
is going to jump right at J factor, meaning the jealousy factor. 2 comments from the audience is if Applebee's had given the homeless guy a meal, he would have told his other homeless buddies behind the Walmart. Next thing you know, Applebee's is overrun with homeless, just like feeding the birds.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's a tough one to hear, but it's true.
Home run, Regina. The people who give the homeless people only make the problem worse.
Thank you.
Well, you're helping the guy pay for his electricity for his Section 8 housing. Come on.
Okay. Okay. So I know Ralph's got a wedding coming up. Ralph and his, and you have, and it's a very exciting event. Can you,
It all depends on what chair you sit in.
Ralph, we need the microphone.
You are the father of the groom.
Yeah.
All you got to do is show up,
Thank God.
right? Because I'm sure Judy's doing all the planning. Or helping with all the planning.
Yeah, she's assisting.
Okay.
Elizabeth's mother is, I think, in charge, and then Judy's right there.
And it's going to be in June.
Oh, yeah.
And tell me where it's going to be, remind me, because it's very exciting.
At the Basilica.
How lovely, how absolutely lovely, Ralph.
Where is the Basilica?
At Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, this is a big deal, yeah.
Is this out in Tingsboro?
No, Indiana, right?
Yep.
Well, I'm just asking, I'm the only dummy in the crowd. I mean, you say the Basilica, oh, whoa.
And only because I got to sit and talk to
So
Judy and Ralph.
Notre Dame College, what state is that in?
Have you ever heard of Pete Buttigieg?
Oh,
Is
gosh.
he going too?
Why'd you have to bring him up?
Cliff's he's disappointed that Buttigieg is
He's
going.
the former mayor out there in Indiana.
Indiana. That's where so the wedding's going to be in Indiana. So it's a destination wedding, Ralph?
It's at the Notre Dame University, the Basilica. It's West Bend, I think.
West Bend, yes.
West Bend.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm wishing you the
exciting.
best weather.
Thank you, John.
Good, good health to all the intended couple. It's just a wonderful event.
Oh, we're very pleased and so on and so forth, but it is taxing.
Oh, gosh, yes. Okay, because a wedding back in the day was not what it is today. The pre-planning, down to the little, gifts that you're going to give the people who come to the wedding, and the flower arrangements, and the music, and the dresses, and whether you're going to wear one wedding gown or two, or the food, it's taxing, yes it is.
I don't remember it that way.
Because you didn't plan it, because you were the groom. Oh, you went to Vegas. You went to Vegas to the little chapel. Of
Yeah.
course you don't remember it that way. You hopped in a car and drove to Vegas. You told us that last week.
Right.
But today's weddings are
Now, we got
convoluted
married in the
affairs.
church.
Yeah, okay.
They didn't even turn all the lights on.
No, sir. Would
It
they
was-
bring it back to the
It was the
sacristy?
chaplain, and the witnesses were the chaplain's assistants, and it took about 5 minutes, which was good because we were packing out to move to Germany
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
that day.
Oh, my gosh.
You made quick decisions and executed, huh?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so Ralph, my
Regina,
best.
before you take off,
Yes.
how are you celebrating this weekend? Are you doing Easter weekend? Are you doing Khmer New Year? How are you?
So I'm celebrating, thank you for asking, John. I'm celebrating Easter weekend. So the other day, I was at Demoulas Market Basket
Which one?
on Bridge Street. And when I was a kid, I went to St. Stanislaus for grammar school. And we always had an Easter procession, and you had to have a lily. And so we've always had a lily in my house. Every Easter, I can't go through Easter without there being a lily in the house. And so I'm doing my food shopping, and I said, oh my goodness, I got to stop and get my Easter lily. And I've got a lovely one. It's in the kitchen window right now. It's got about 6 bulbs on it. 2 are open. I'm going to Rita Mercia's party tonight at the Bunting Club.
That's coming up. When you leave, I'm going to do the announcement.
Okay,
but,
so,
is that part of your Easter celebration?
That's part of my Easter celebration.
What are you going to bring, some Ziploc bags?
That's part of my Easter celebration, and then I'm gonna go out and have some non-meat dinner after Rita's get-together. And then Saturday, I will probably do Mass at 7:30 at St. Michael's, and which is the
It's
longest.
good to know you're back at St. Mike's. That's good.
Just the longest Mass of the whole year. And it's even longer because people get baptized, they make their first communion and at the same Mass. So because,
I miss Father Spike.
yeah, I miss,
So now what are you doing Monday?
Resting after that weekend.
resting, yeah, then I'm having,
No marathon for you?
no
Okay,
marathon.
Ralph, what are you doing the Easter weekend?
I think we're having ham and lamb chops.
Where?
Oh,
At my house.
Nice.
There's the whole family coming, or just you and the
Yeah,
bride?
Yeah.
Or you don't know?
Judy's brother's coming down from Maine, and, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Very
We'll have
nice.
a-
How about you, Cliff? What are you doing?
I'm a reader at 10,
The lector,
It's just a
okay.
regular weekend for you?
and then I have to get ready for Monday.
What's on Monday?
City life.
Okay, all right.
I put in a couple hours getting ready for this.
I believe it.
know he does.
I have the day off Monday because it's a holiday.
That's a good thing.
Let's see, Monday. Oh, John had been talking about finance. One of my grandchildren wants to buy a motorcycle and needs a loan. He's got most of the money saved up, but he needs a loan to bridge it over.
Okay.
And his understanding of finance, getting a loan, all that, is not very good.
Is Grandpa going to give him an education?
His father's giving him the education.
Okay.
We're all going to the bank Monday morning, I think.
What kind
Is
of
the bank
motorcycle
open?
is it?
Is the bank open on Monday?
No, you're right.
Bank's
I
not
don't
open on
know.
Monday.
Might not be open.
Yeah, bank's not open on Monday.
So Regina, it's time
So
for you.
it's gonna be a
You said you
family
want to scoot at
application?
7:30?
Yes, I do,
So I
John.
think Cliff
No.
wants to give you the last word.
Okay, go ahead, Cliff, the last word.
No, you're going to take the
Oh,
last.
I'm going to give the last word, and tell me how that works, John.
You can say whatever you want and then turn it over to
Okay.
Cliff and take your leave.
So I want to wish everybody, whatever holiday you're celebrating out there, whatever religious holiday you're celebrating, may peace be with you. May you enjoy your family, your faith, your gathering together. I know I'm going to be at St. Michael's. People are going to be at, other religious celebrations. I hope that you all enjoy family time. I know I'm going to spend some time with some friends that are going to be hosting Easter dinner. I can't wait to go and do that. I wish the two of you the best Easter possible. Cliff, I don't think that bank's going to be open on Monday, so maybe that's going to be a Tuesday thing.
I'm going to have to check.
You'll have to check, and I wish, Ralph, congratulations on this wedding. I'm very happy for your son. It's wonderful. Now, where are they going to live after?
They already bought a condo in Groton.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. Very exciting. Ralph, I bet Judy's a lot more excited about this than you are.
Judy's not gonna be putting tile down on the new kitchen.
Judy will be directing you.
Oh, she's good at that.
Hey, good for her. All right, I want to wish everybody a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you when we see you. Thank
Regina,
you.
Jay says, Ms. Faticanti, have a happy Easter.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate it.
I'm going off to announcement land. Your microphones are still operational. So if you say anything, it goes out over the air. Regina, thanks very much. Happy Easter.
Happy
Thank you.
And I'll
Easter.
see you next time. If you want to
Enjoy the
announce,
Reformation period of the season.
hey guys,
Renewal.
because your microphones, or shut your microphones off. Okay, if you want to announce one on the City Life, just send me a text. Real easy thing to do. Tonight is Rita Mercier's party. Campaign party, re-elect Rita M. Mercier, Counselor at Large. Come and join me at the Bunting Club. That's out in South Lowell, 449 Boylston Street. $10, you can make a check for 10, you can bring $10, you can bring $100. She'll take whatever donation you have, but the important thing is, come with an empty belly. She has a buffet like nobody has ever had. And I know it's Good Friday, but hey, it is what it is. And so hope to see you out there tonight from 6 to 9 p.m., Rita Mercier's party. I'm moving right along. Sakari Chow's having a party. And shrink this up so it fits on the screen. Thanks, Regina.
Thanks, John.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
New Year celebration with Sakari Chow, 2025, Saturday. That's tomorrow. April 19th, 7 to midnight at the Sampow Mies Restaurant, 450 Chelmsford Street, Lowell. They're going to have a those people know how to eat, I'll tell you, because I've been to one of these, and It's delicious. 5-course dinner, live band, Bad Boys Band is going to be there. Seating is limited, so there's a phone number you can call right down the bottom here. So take your fancy phone out of your pocket and take a picture of this slide and give Sakari a call. Hope to see you over there. Neighborhood meetings. There's a half dozen neighborhood associations in the city of Lowell, and these are all of them. The police list the official ones. I'm sure there are others, but and if you're not listed here and you're a neighborhood group, be in touch with the Lowell Police because I'm sure they want to include your meeting in their announcement. But coming up, the last one of the month is Downtown Neighborhood, and it's going to be over at LTC's lobby, and it's a nice big room they have over there, April 28th at 7 p.m. Johnny Dakota is having a party. Slide up just a tad, okay. The committee will elect John Dakota invites you to a campaign fundraiser for John Dakota, Lowell City Council, District 8, the Upper Highlands, Wednesday, April 30th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. At Mount Pleasant Golf Club, 141 Staple Street. Checks should be made payable to committee to elect, and donations start at $20 and go up. Hope to see you over there. Today is the 18th. Which means over at the Lowell Senior Center, Lowell Senior Center proudly presents lunch 7 days a week, except for holidays. So, traveling chef's going to be there today. The idea is get over there around 10:30, walk in the front door, give Carrie your $2. If you don't have your $2, just tell her you don't have the dough and she'll give you a ticket anyway. So, they'd like to get the $2, but if you don't have it, it's okay. Today's traveling chef, tomorrow's meat lasagna, Sunday and Monday, they're closed. So, sorry, get your lunch elsewhere. Moving right along here. If you need prayers for somebody, these gals are the ones you want to call. Monastery of St. Clair. So if somebody's surgery, whatever's bothering you, need prayers, call the Monastery of St. Clair. That's their phone number down the bottom there. And those gals are terrific. A lot of times it's on answer machine. So just leave them voicemail. Tell them what you want, and they'll be happy to pray for whatever you need praying for. We are all Lowellians. Belinda Duran. Cliff, you talked to Belinda, didn't you?
Yes.
Does she have a day, or is she still thinking about it?
I haven't proposed a date to her, so I thought I would coordinate with the producer.
Somebody texted me, and it was her that was texting me, and so I texted her back, and so before you go home, if you have 2 minutes, we'll talk about Belinda. But anyway, Belinda Duran. She's running for city councilor. Campaign kickoff fundraiser at the Long Meadow Golf Club, Thursday, May 1st, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. If you have a TV set you want to get rid of, got some electronic stuff you want to get rid of, well, think about going out to Chelmsford, take a picture of this slide. It's a pretty good deal. $60 for a carload of stuff. Or you can, for $85, you can fill your van up. Put all your TV sets in there, and pretty cool. The electronics, they'll take TV monitors, outdoor items like snow blowers. You want to get rid of that old snow blower? Bring it out there. Appliances, you want to get rid of bed frames, toasters, coffee pots, microwaves, AC units, large appliances, battery-operated tools, car seats. And they're not going to take oil, fuel, glass, or plastic toys. So any questions, you can email them down the bottom here. So take your phone out, take a picture of this slide, and see what you want to do about get rid of that stuff. Kid went way before his time. Please join us for our second annual Adrian Kamborowicz Memorial Fundraiser, Saturday, May 3rd, 6 to 11 p.m. at the Bunting Club, 449 Boylston Street. Points of Light. This is a pretty cool thing that's going to be happening in May, and Points of Light, Lowell.com, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. Everybody puts they have these lights that go in these paper bags, and they float down the canal. It's a beautiful night. They do it between St. Patrick's Church and Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church. That's the canal way between those two churches. It's a beautiful night to do that. Campaign kickoff party at Long Meadow Golf Club for Run with Erin Gendron for Lowell City Council. Donations start at $15 and go up. That's going to be Monday, May 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. And that's my last announcement. I just got another announcement in the mail. Let's see what this thing here says. Try to see if I can drag this guy over here to see if it blows up. Come on, baby. We can make this happen. Hope it's not a joke after all this stuff. Okay. Somebody just took this on their granite countertop. This is Saturday, April 19th, which is tomorrow. Dracut Museum, 1660 Lakeview Avenue in Dracut, celebrating Dracut's Revolutionary War. Heroes for the 250th Patriots Day. This sounds pretty cool. It's free. And there's snacks, too. So it's 1660 Lakeview Avenue. Take your fancy phone out of your pocket, take a picture of this slide. Saturday, April 19th, and Monday, April 21st, 10 to 3 p.m. And Cliff, going back over to you, I'm going to find what button I'm going to do. Back over to you.
I guess not.
Yeah. So, the Election Commission is looking for people to be poll workers. It's $20 pay to attend the training, and it's a full day. It starts at 6 and runs past 8 o'clock in the evening.
How much are we getting paid?
I'm sorry, where was I? Oh, and that's $280. So,
So $300 including the training.
yes. No, it's almost $600 because there is the preliminary election on September 9th, which would be $280, and the municipal election on November 4th would be $280.
Okay.
So that's not bad money.
That's what they're doing with that pocket meter money.
They're looking for election officers and translators, 16 and 17-year-olds who are U.S. citizens. If they have permission from their school, and parents or guardians can also be appointed election officers. So
Good.
this is a good deal. Just call the Election and Census Department or walk in down in City Hall in Lowell. It's in the southeast corner of the basement.
So are you going to do it?
No, I don't think so. I may think about
You're
it,
going to do
though.
it?
But we need election officers. We need 200 positions. So there are also, some of the slots will be not on election day, but manning the early voting. You have the I have a thought look.
Go ahead.
What?
You have a thought?
I said you have the I have a thought look.
Nope, no, I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
So Lori Trahan and Congressman Garcia out in Long Beach, California, have reintroduced a bill to recognize Cambodian Genocide Remembrance Day. I looked up Garcia's district. It is a horrible example of gerrymandering. Just terrible. But that's politics. There was some activities at City Hall last night, and there are more activities going on. 50 years and a terrible experience. Pol Pot's not up there at the Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler level, but he did manage to kill something like 2 million of his fellow citizens in Cambodia. You could die if you were wearing a pair of glasses. That's not a good thing. I was surprised, Ralph. I was watching the school committee meeting here in Lowell, not yours, and they got to the report on student performance, and there was not a peep out of anybody, even though we have large numbers of students who are not performing to standard. And
Well, the governor has once again lowered the standard with MCAS. I mean,
Can you imagine if she was in charge of hiring airline pilots?
oh,
If you can walk into the cockpit,
What
you
amazes-
could be the pilot.
what amazes me is people watch football, baseball, professional sports, and they love it. I enjoy it. But to get there, the kids have to be in Pop Warner and, intramural stuff in grade school and high school, play against each other, competition. It's good to get to the big leagues. And people get excited, parents and communities get excited about the local rivalries, and I'm all for it. But I question, why can't they get so excited about education and the scholastic achievement of the student and cheer them on? Because, as you pointed out, there's a problem with making the grade. And all the current administration in Boston, Department of Ed, all they want to do is dummy it down. Your thoughts?
I'm in agreement, and I think that these are not good situations. So, like 88% of Hispanic students pass courses, but 25% failed one or more courses. So I think they need to do remedial math where they put the report together. If 88% are passing all their courses, how come 25 failed one or more courses? That was not good. English language learning, there was a good bump in grade 3, the math bump, but not a lot, and the overall levels are not good. And then there were, and this is confusing to me, there were 39 dropouts, 20 Hispanics, 5 Asians, 1
Wow.
black, 11 Caucasians. I added that up, and that's 37. So are there 2 Pacific Islanders or Native Americans who dropped out? Who are the other 2 that dropped out? So, but nobody brought anything up, and it's not good. Plus, I saw a report that high school students are growing incredibly antisocial.
Good point, Cliff.
In 1995, the vast majority of seniors were going on dates several times a month. Just about today, just about a third are going on 1 or no dates every month. That's not a good number. Let's see, they said between 95 and 2010, the share who dated very little rose to just below 50%. So that was 15 points in 15 years. Between 2010 and 2021, the share who barely went on dates rose to 72%. So that's an increase of 22 points in 11 years. So how are these kids socializing? How are they
I'm telling you,
learning
the
to
cell
get together?
phone is the the guru of communication. Everybody has one.
So, we're not going to get very many babies from cell phone conversations.
I can't disagree with that, but I'm just trying to tell you the obvious, that's the, and once again, the government is going to solve that problem.
Well, there should be,
They're
Ralph,
considering
respectfully,
a
there should,
legislation to ban cell phones in high schools throughout the state.
Ralph, we can't get the freaking federal government to ban texting. Driving down any highway you like, everybody has their phone up here on the
Oh, yeah.
steering wheel, watching for their important texts, and people are dying. That cell phone should not be working if it's moving over 5 miles an hour. It should be a federal law. Bam, done. Terrible.
Does that include the map application?
No.
Okay.
But they at least should have the phone in a cradle.
Yeah.
You know, if the phone's in a cradle, they're following a map, yeah.
Ralph, I got a fancy car, you got a fancy car. Fancy car now reads my text to me. Reads them. Would you
That's
like,
cool.
would you care to respond, Mr. McDonough? Yeah. I'm driving, I'll talk to you later. And the texts just keep rolling in. I have another text, Mr. McDonough. Would you like me to read it to you?
I think the truck has that feature, but I have not taken the time to set it up.
It's called CarPlay. CarPlay.
Oh, have to look.
Truck
My
is
car's
fine.
probably too old for that.
No,
that's
it's
a
in
new-
my 2000, is it newer than 2016?
It's 2016, I think.
Okay, it's in there. That was the first year they did it. CarPlay.
I've been meaning to explore all that, but haven't gotten around to it. So, I saw where Kim Scott, is she your city councilor?
I don't think so. I think she's South Lowell, isn't she, John?
She's South
Yeah.
Lowell.
Yeah, no, I'm up in the Highlands.
Oh,
He's Corey
okay.
Belanger.
He's Corey Belanger
Corey Belanger is his counselor.
Me?
in the Highlands?
I thought you were Belvederian, sorry. Johnny Dakota.
Johnny Dakota.
Yes.
So, she's concerned about the data center down there at the old Prince Spaghetti Factory. They're adding more generators and more fuel storage. They're up to 71,000 gallons of diesel. That seems like a lot of diesel. That
I would assume, I'm not up on this, but I thought the diesel feeding a generator would be only hurricanes or, loss of power.
Yep,
So why would you need
They need a
that
lot of-
volume?
they need a lot of juice. I'll put this screen up right now because we need people to run for public office in lovely Lowell, Massachusetts. The greedy bastards are up for re-election because right now you can pay for parking until 8 p.m., 7 days a week in downtown Lowell, thanks to the greedy bastards called the city council. So all the city council need competition. So whatever section of town you live in, please tell your grandson, your granddaughter, hey, nice job, 30 grand. They have a placard where they get to park for free, by the way. They put the placard on their dashboard so I don't have to pay. Because,
Wow.
yeah, pretty cool.
you should at
rules for
least
the-
get that.
As Sam Chase would say, rules for thee, not for me. So whatever section of Lowell you live in, please talk to your grandchild about becoming a city elected official, be it school committee or be it city council. Back over to you, Cliff. Thank you.
Before you take the map down,
I'll put it back up again.
all right,
Yes.
the green area already has 4 candidates, which is reflective of the political activity in the Belvedere. They
Well,
come out with the highest voter turnout rate. They've got 4 candidates, so we'll have a preliminary election. The pink area there needs another candidate to run against the incumbent. Who's the incumbent in that pink area?
What number is the pink, Cliff?
4.
4?
4.
Or is that light
Yeah.
purple?
This is the district that we're sitting in, District 4. Starts at the Lowell connector and it goes to the Drake line. Talk about gerrymandering. Definitely gerrymandering. This is a stupid, stupid thing that they,
That's called the downtown
that the
district?
city of Lowell put together. Oh, we didn't do it. Yeah, well, you had influence to do it. So at any rate, we need somebody to run, because right now we got a guy by the name of Wayne McGinnis, and he's a nice guy. He's just too busy for the job. He's got other things on his mind, and so we need somebody to run for this office. I hope I don't have to run for this office. I'd rather have your grandkid running for the job. We need younger people in government.
John, you do a fine job.
Well, thank you, Ralph, but I got enough on my plate. But Wayne Janess, sorry, buddy, you gotta go. So just going around this here, this is Danny Rourke, Pawtucketville. Okay, that's Pawtucketville. So then we have 7. This is Paul Rathayem over in the Acre. Here we have Sakari Chow is running this district. So if you got a grandkid living in either one of these districts, come on. Have the grandkid run. We need younger blood in the city of Lowell to bring new ideas. Then we got the Upper Highlands. Johnny Dakota, he's the city councilor there. And nice guy. But I would rather have a kiddo up there, somewhere in his 30s or 40s. And over here is Kim Scotland. This is South Lowell. And
She's
Kim's
still
great.
just a young lady.
Kim's a great gal, but competition is good for the spirit. So we need somebody running against Kim. And then over here we have Corey Robinson. Nice guy, and he's a real go-getter, gets stuff done. You need some competition, please. Anything else you want to add, Cliff, before I go back over to you?
Monday, we should talk about the school, the 4 school committee members.
Okay.
So back to the data center. It needs a lot of energy, and apparently we're not getting that much energy from Canada anymore. I don't know, is that Donald Trump's fault?
I thought that was back online, no? They're bringing a power line down
Yeah.
from Hydro-Quebec.
People are asking me about Rita Mercier's party again, so I'll put this back up. Rita Mercier's party's tonight, April 18th, 2025, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Bunting Club.
Now, Rita's citywide, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Doing a fine job.
I'm gonna take a picture of this so I can send it to the texter, just in case she decided she's not watching the show right now.
So what's the future for Greater Lowell? Do you build any more temporary classrooms?
Well, none are planned, but, you know, if they have 1.3 billion they can find in a month or 2 down at the State House, they should be building more. And I'm not saying we should get the money. I'm saying they should be building more vocational schools for the entire state.
Well, I agree with you 100%. We need more people with trade skills. We need to make that available to people. And with President Trump trying to bring back industry, that's
It's the natural.
that's the business. And it means more educators, and it means better students, better opportunities.
Definitely. I think she's on the wrong political track with this. I really do. I mean, she just doesn't get it. In her annual speech, she talked about investing in vocational ed. But you can't invest in anything, any area, if you're coming up with 1.3 billion for emergency situations.
Yeah,
And I question the validity politically. I mean, any parent, grandparent, or even student can clearly see that the need for vocational education.
yeah, I agree with you 100%. During the week, the national debt has grown from $36.7 trillion to $36.75 roughly trillion dollars. So that's billions of dollars. You know, that soon adds up to real money.
Quickly.
And the interest, the more debt we have, the more interest we have to pay, and it already exceeds the money we're spending for national defense. So I think that we need to all talk to our Congress critters and explain to them that they need to get a hand on the budget and get the budget under control.
Cliff, would you repeat that, please? It's a waste of time talking to Congress critters. It's all about our side's got to win. Don't you understand? We have to win.
John?
It's a party war.
After we elect you to city council this fall, we're going to run you against Lori Trahan next year.
Well, people tell me
Where are you gonna
I
live?
should skip city council and run against Vanna Howard. Look, I ain't doing that. Look, somebody needs to run against Vanna Howard too, okay, so. The cowardly lion. Don't call her names. Okay.
She's a nice person.
Hey, I got a lot of stuff I got to run by here.
Okay.
Somebody wants me to do the Chelmsford thing again. Chelmsford waste. I'll put that slide up. Come on, baby, get up there. Okay. So
I guess it's up to people to get off the couch and vote for a change. And that's how to motivate people.
Tewksbury, in their election Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, last Saturday, I can't remember which, the turnout was 8.09%.
They're going to kick us off. So Monday we got Cliff's going to be here, Eileen's going to be here, Drew, Mike Smith, and John Curtis is going to be here Monday. Here's the recycling thing that somebody wanted me to put back up again. So walk over with your fancy phone, take a picture of this, and that's it. So guys, we're out of time.
Ralph, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
And we need to be pushing vocational schools,
Definitely.
hoping people listen and turn out to vote.
Thanks, guys. Happy Easter.
Yes, enjoy Easter.